the brutal truths women will never admit about men. We expose it all from a modern Stoic perspective. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Eden Abez. When asked what they want from a man, most women will give a predictable answer. I just want a nice guy who's romantic, thoughtful, and buys me flowers. It's a sweet sentiment, one that we've all heard time and time again. But beneath the surface of that answer lies a much more complex and far darker reality. The truth is, the things that women often want most in a man are not always what we imagine them to be. The answers go beyond the superficial ideas of kindness, romance, and the occasional bouquet of flowers. Men often find themselves struggling to understand what truly matters to women, and this confusion is largely due to the fact that the real truths about relationships are rarely discussed openly. Women, in many cases, won't admit these deeper desires for fear of coming off as demanding or difficult. But in order for men to truly understand the nature of women's expectations, it's time to expose 5 brutal truths that women rarely say out loud. These truths are the backbone of what women actually need and want, even if they never express them directly. So let's take a deeper look at these unspoken realities. By the end of this article, you'll have a much clearer idea of what women are really looking for in a man, and why the traditional answers just don't cut it anymore. Trust me, this isn't the sugar-coated version of reality. No, today we're diving into the raw, often uncomfortable truths that will change how you view relationships and yourself as a partner. Get ready, because this is a conversation you won't want to miss. Let's explore the 5 brutal truths that women will never admit. 1. Female hypergamy is real. Female hypergamy is real, and that's a brutal truth many women will never admit. But it's time you understand the underlying realities of this phenomenon. Hypergamy, simply put, is the idea that women often seek partners who are out of their league in terms of physical attractiveness, wealth, social standing, or resources. It's a pattern deeply embedded in the nature of women. And, whether people like to admit it or not, it's more common among women than men. It boils down to the fact that many women desire the alpha male, the powerful, successful, and highly attractive man. Now, when we talk about this, there are 3 distinct camps of people you'll come across. First, we have those in Camp 1, the deniers. These are typically women who refuse to acknowledge hypergamy as a reality, perhaps because admitting it would force them to confront uncomfortable truths about their own behaviour and preferences. They don't want to believe it, even though the science and evidence support the idea. Second, we have Camp 2, those who completely embrace hypergamy, often to the point of despair. These men, frustrated by their inability to meet society's expectations of the ultra-rich, physically perfect Giga Chad, sometimes throw in the towel altogether, giving up on dating because they feel hopelessly out of reach for the women they desire. Then there's Camp 3, the most sensible group, which understands the reality of female hypergamy but also sees that it's not an ironclad rule. They know that this tendency exists, but it's not absolute. It's more of a general observation and should be treated as such. Let's get this straight. To those in Camp 1, the deniers, I'm telling you, hypergamy is real, and the evidence is undeniable. It's not just a theory. It's a scientifically supported concept that has been observed across cultures, time, and society. And to those in Camp 2, those who have thrown their hands up in frustration and given up dating, I want to say, yes, hypergamy is real, but don't let it crush your spirit. While it's true that women often seek out the best possible mate in terms of status, power, and resources, it doesn't mean you have no chance at all. It's important to understand that hypergamy is a tendency, not a strict rule. Not every woman is driven by it to the same degree, and it varies widely depending on her background, cultural influences, and individual preferences. It's crucial to understand that while female hypergamy has always existed, it's become more prominent in today's world, especially in the Western context. The rise of toxic feminist rhetoric, combined with the overwhelming influence of technology and dating apps, has inflated this behavior to new extremes. These apps, while connecting people, have also amplified unrealistic expectations, leaving women fighting over a very small percentage of men, those who are wealthy, powerful, or socially desirable, but who are often unwilling to commit to a serious relationship. At the same time, men feel increasingly alienated, as if women are no longer willing to give them a chance at all. It's a brutal cycle where both sides end up disillusioned and disconnected. But hypergamy isn't some new phenomenon or a flaw in women's character. Women have always been inclined to seek the best possible partner they can attract. This is a deeply rooted biological instinct, and women are not bad for acting on it. You can't blame someone for having a natural tendency to seek the best mate, just as men have their own instincts and drives. What we need to acknowledge is that it's society, the unhealthy dynamics we've built, that has made hypergamy such an exaggerated issue. The modern world, particularly in Western culture, has created an environment where this instinct is exploited, amplified, and, often, distorted. So what does this mean for you, the reader, navigating the complexities of modern relationships? First, recognize that if you're a man who feels overlooked or inadequate in the dating world, you're not alone. Women's preferences may seem intimidating, but they aren't absolute. Don't buy into the idea that only the richest, most powerful men have any chance at love or intimacy. Instead, focus on what you can control: your own value, character, and self-improvement. The real key to overcoming hypergamy is to cultivate a life that is attractive to women in ways beyond wealth and social status. Strength, confidence, leadership, ambition, and genuine emotional connection are traits that can never be underestimated. And to the women reading this, be honest with yourself. Understand that you too are part of this cycle, and while you may not always be consciously aware of it, the instinct to seek better is ingrained in you. It's natural, but it's not always healthy. Relationships are built on more than just status or material wealth. They require emotional depth, mutual respect, and true connection. So, before you swipe left on that guy who doesn't meet every superficial expectation, remember that the most important qualities, emotional intelligence, trust, loyalty, and compatibility, are often the ones that matter most in the long run. As for the larger picture, understand that the concept of hypergamy isn't an all-or-nothing scenario. The truth is that this idea is often blown out of proportion, particularly by those who wish to criticize it or exaggerate it for their own purposes. Don't buy into the narrative that this is the sole force driving women's romantic decisions. It's a factor certainly, but it's not the only factor. The real lesson here is to stop comparing yourself to unattainable standards and recognize the value you bring to a relationship. Women, like men, are looking for more than just the surface. In conclusion, hypergamy is a real thing, but it's not the whole truth about relationships. It's important to understand the dynamics at play, but also remember that the most meaningful connections are built on mutual respect, shared values, and emotional intimacy, not just wealth, status, or power. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you agree with the idea of hypergamy? Do you think it's a real force in modern relationships, or is it just an exaggerated myth? Share your opinions in the comments below. Now drop this in the comments to let the world know you're ready to level up. I'm building my value beyond the surface. 2. Women value security over love. Women value security over love. Now, I know some of you may try to argue that love should come first, that it's all about the emotions, the chemistry, the spark that ignites when you meet the right person. But let's face the truth. Women, deep down, are wired to prioritize security, not just for themselves, but for their families, their children, and their future. They need to know that the man they are with can provide stability, emotionally, financially, and physically. It's not a desire, it's a necessity. Think about it. If you're a man looking for validation in love, constantly giving your all, trying to be everything she wants, but you're unstable, unreliable, or insecure in your position, guess what? That's not going to hold her attention for long. Women might enjoy the thrill of love in the early stages, but in the long run, what truly matters is whether you offer security. Calvin Reid said it best when he highlighted that, without security, love is an illusion. You can throw around romantic gestures and grand declarations all you want, but if you can't back them up with action, she will eventually lose interest. Look at the modern world. Every man who has been successful has understood that to truly captivate a woman, you need to demonstrate that you're a provider, a protector, a man who has control over his life. The game isn't about love, it's about demonstrating that you can offer what no one else can: stability. Let's take a moment to look back at history. Men who built empires, men who led nations, those who commanded respect. They didn't do it by being emotional or needy. They did it by making sure they had something real to offer. As the famous quote from George Bernard Shaw goes, "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place." You can talk love all you want, but words don't mean anything if your actions don't align. The woman you're with needs to know, with absolute certainty, that you can provide. That's what women respect. But you must understand this. Women are not looking for you to have all the answers right now. They want to see that you are actively striving for something greater. They need to know that even in moments of failure or doubt, you are not crumbling, that you are pushing forward. Think about the times you've seen a woman drawn to a man who, at first glance, didn't appear to have it all figured out. It wasn't his good looks or charm that won her over. It was the sense that he had a plan, that he wasn't going to just sit around waiting for life to hand him success. And you, as a man, must embody this same mindset. You have to wake up every day with an unwavering commitment to your purpose. When she sees you working hard, never backing down from adversity, she'll be attracted to the certainty that you provide, not just emotionally, but also in your life's trajectory. Now, let's dive deeper. Think about this. If a woman feels like she's in a relationship where she is carrying the weight of the future on her shoulders, that relationship will eventually collapse. It's not that she doesn't love you, but love will fade if security is absent. She needs to know that with you, her future is not uncertain. Women have a way of reading the long-term play. If you're just getting by, not taking steps to grow, build, and protect the relationship you have, you're setting yourself up for failure. In the modern age, men must step up, not just in their relationships, but in every area of their life. If you aren't growing, pushing yourself to be more, what message are you sending? Are you really the man she's been waiting for? Or are you simply occupying space in her life, like so many other nice guys who never get it? The world isn't waiting for you to catch up. It's not waiting for anyone. You need to be a force, a man who lives with purpose. Women value a man who has direction, who is actively shaping his future and knows how to take charge. So, what's the brutal truth here? It's simple. Women are not just looking for love. They are looking for security. And security doesn't just mean financial. It's about showing them that you have the strength, the resilience, and the emotional stability to build a future. You must stop seeing yourself as just a romantic partner and start seeing yourself as a protector, a provider, and a man of value. Your life must exude certainty, because without that, love will not endure. That's the hard truth that most men avoid, and that's why so many relationships fall apart. In the end, it's about showing up, not just in your emotions, but in your actions. Build your life, sharpen your mind, and make sure that when she looks at you, she sees a man who can secure her future. The most successful men understand this, and so should you. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control now. 3. Nice gestures won't earn you respect or create attraction. In the game of attraction, nice gestures alone won't win you respect or create lasting appeal. I recall making a video about the infamous friend zone, and the flood of comments from men asking, "Why don't women appreciate guys who are just good people? Why can't they see the effort we put in with nice gestures? The truth, as harsh as it may sound, is that attracting a woman has nothing to do with being a good person on paper. Women may value kindness, but attraction isn't rooted in niceness alone. There were times when I, as a single woman, found myself drawn to men who weren't necessarily the nicest people. But let me be clear, this doesn't mean I dated bad guys, but there was always something about them that sparked interest. The truth is, attraction often stems from a deeper mix of confidence, chemistry, and even a bit of mystery, not just from doing nice things. At the end of the day, I value decency in a partner, someone who shares my values and treats others with respect. That's why my fiancé, who happens to be a genuinely good person, holds a special place in my heart. But let's not kid ourselves. If he were just nice, without any edge or complexity, he likely wouldn't have sparked the kind of attraction that I felt for him. Women, like men, are wired to respond to a variety of traits, and in the early stages of dating, traits like confidence, strength, and mystery can be far more magnetic than just plain kindness. Now, this isn't to say kindness has no value. On the contrary, it's important, but it shouldn't be the cornerstone of your approach to attracting someone. If you think that buying a woman flowers, giving her money, or showering her with over-the-top acts of kindness will suddenly make her fall for you, think again. Such gestures, especially early on, can often come off as desperate or insincere. Attraction isn't a transaction. It's not about how much you give, but about how you make her feel. If you're constantly trying to prove your worth through gestures, you're missing the point. Instead of spending money or offering extravagant gifts, invest in yourself. Work on your communication skills, develop your confidence, and become a better conversationalist. That's how you build genuine connection. Remember, women are drawn to more than just what you can do for them. They want to feel your energy, your presence, and your strength. It's about showing up as someone who has his own life, interests, and passions, not someone who is just trying to win favour through nice actions. Nice gestures are great in the right context, but they shouldn't be your primary tool for attraction. Instead, show up as a man who is fully himself, unapologetically confident, and emotionally intelligent. Cultivate an aura of self-sufficiency and watch how attraction follows naturally. If you want to stand out in a woman's eyes, don't lean on kindness as your crutch. Be kind, yes, but let it stem from who you are, not from a place of trying to buy affection. Focus on becoming someone who commands respect through his actions, his words, and his values. In modern life, people crave real connections, not transactional relationships. Instead of putting all your energy into trying to prove you're a nice guy, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. A woman will be far more likely to respect and be attracted to you when you show that you are comfortable in your own skin, not when you try to win her over with superficial acts of kindness. Comment to remember: attraction is built on confidence, not kindness alone. 4. Women have friend zone backup options. Women have what you might call backup options. It's the brutal truth that most men refuse to acknowledge, but it's there. Her best friend? Yeah, that's often her safety net. It's not always the case, I'll give you that. Under very specific circumstances, men and women can have genuine friendships without anything more, but for most it's a different story. One of them is almost always attracted to the other. More often than not, it's immaturity that gets in the way. That's where the real problem lies. This emotional immaturity causes confusion, missed opportunities, and wasted time. Now, let's be clear about something. You're not going to like this, but the truth doesn't care about your feelings. If a woman isn't truly into you, if she's uncertain or hesitant about the relationship, you might as well be playing second fiddle. And I don't care if you've been together for years. She has a guy friend, let's call him the backup plan, waiting in the wings, ready to offer her the comfort you might not even realise she's seeking from him. Think I'm wrong? Watch closely the next time a relationship ends. It happens time and time again. The moment they break up, she doesn't stay alone, lost in sorrow, wondering what went wrong. She'll go to her backup, The guy friend who's been there, silently watching, waiting. It's an evolutionarily driven behavior. It makes sense in a survival context for women to have a backup when emotional or physical support is needed. But here's the kicker. Not every woman realizes this is happening. She might think it's nothing more than friendship, but the reality is that many women, especially younger or less mature ones, are emotionally unavailable and still operate from a place of safety nets. Some never grow out of this phase. They carry it into adulthood and keep going back to that same backup option every time things get shaky. It's a cycle they don't always know how to break. The question you need to ask yourself is this: why stay with someone who isn't all in? You might be the one in a relationship with her, but she might already have one foot out the door. And you, my friend, might just be a placeholder. Are you okay with that? I know it's painful to hear, but you need to face this reality head on. It's better to know now than later. Stop being someone's second choice. You deserve more. Take control of your life and relationships. Let me tell you something. Life doesn't wait for you to figure it out. You have to make your move, and you have to make it count. The truth is, you don't need to compete for a woman's attention. You need a woman who will choose you. You need a woman who won't keep a backup plan in place when things get tough. As the great philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Stop thinking of yourself as someone who has to fight for love. The quality of your relationships depends on your standards, on your ability to walk away when you're not being valued. Don't waste your time on someone who isn't sure about you. Invest in yourself and in relationships that elevate you. Your life is too short to play second fiddle to someone else's backup plan. Don't settle. Don't accept being the fallback option. You don't have to compete with her backup. You should be her first choice. You deserve to be someone's priority, not their safety net. Don't let anyone treat you like an afterthought. The truth is, there's always someone out there who will appreciate you, respect you, and choose you every single time. And that's where your focus should be, on being the person who is unapologetically prioritized. Take charge. Walk away from relationships that drain you. You can't change people, but you can change how you show up in the world. Take control of your emotions, your relationships, and your destiny. You're not a placeholder. You're not a backup option. You are a priority. As Steve Jobs said, your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. In relationships, your great work is knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. Take action. It's time for you to stop waiting for validation from someone else. Become the best version of yourself, and let the people who truly value you find their way into your life. If you're ready to take control and stop being someone's backup, hit like, comment, or subscribe. Leave a statement below. I will no longer be anyone's backup. And remember, your story is yours to write. Don't let anyone else take the pen. 5. A woman's love is often more conditional than a man's love. A woman's love is often more conditional than a man's. This might sound harsh, but it's an undeniable reality that many won't admit. The statistics are clear. Women are more likely to initiate divorce or end a relationship. It's a painful truth, but it's rooted in history and biology. Historically, women had to be selective in choosing a partner because their survival and the survival of their offspring depended on it. Their emotional sensitivity is greater, and because of this, they are more attuned to the dynamics of safety and stability in a relationship. When a woman feels secure, physically and emotionally, her love flourishes. But when that sense of security is compromised, whether due to emotional unavailability, lack of communication, financial instability, or emotional unpredictability, the relationship begins to unravel. Unlike men, who may tolerate these issues and keep pushing through, women are less inclined to endure situations where their needs are not being met. This is not about selfishness, it's about instinct and the deeply ingrained need for safety and stability. If a woman doesn't feel like her emotional, physical, and psychological needs are being met, she will not hesitate to walk away, even if it's painful. This is something that men often fail to grasp. They may see it as a sign of weakness, but it's simply a survival mechanism built into women's nature. In the modern world, where emotional and financial stability have shifted drastically, this reality remains. Men often feel pressure to be the rock, the provider, and the emotional anchor. But when they neglect their own emotional needs or fail to communicate effectively, the bond weakens. Men, you must recognize that your partner's love thrives in an environment of emotional safety. If you are emotionally unavailable, you are setting the stage for distance. If your financial or emotional foundation is unstable, you are unknowingly planting seeds of doubt in her heart. Women will start to question whether they are truly safe, and when that happens, they pull back. This isn't about playing games or testing your love. It's about a deep, ingrained need for security. You have to understand this. Your woman's love is more fragile than you think. It's not that she doesn't love you, she might love you deeply, but her emotional needs must be met for that love to flourish. She cannot continue to invest in a relationship that doesn't meet her fundamental needs for emotional, physical, and financial security. This isn't something she can just overlook, and it isn't about her not loving you enough. It's about her survival instinct kicking in. Men, you must be aware of this truth. You can't expect a woman to stay if you fail to show up emotionally. You can't take her for granted, assuming that she will endure your emotional absence, your financial instability, or your lack of effort to nurture the relationship. If she's not getting what she needs, she will leave. You can't afford to let that happen. So here's the bottom line. Women love with a sense of conditionality that stems from their need for safety and security. When they feel emotionally threatened, unstable, or unsafe, they will pull away. You need to understand that, as a man, it's not just about what you do, it's about how you make her feel. If she doesn't feel emotionally safe, financially stable, and heard, she will question the relationship. And once that questioning starts, it can be hard to regain her trust and love. In today's world, this truth matters more than ever. Relationships require constant effort, communication, and emotional availability. If you're not meeting those needs, be prepared for her to walk away. Don't let that happen. If you want her to stay, you need to show up fully, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Comment below. I will provide the security she needs to thrive. Let's keep this conversation going. 6. Your value to women is judged by looks, ambition, money, and status. Your value to women is often judged by your looks, ambition, wealth, and status. It's a hard truth that many men need to accept, but let me offer you a deeper perspective. Some people like to romanticize the idea that love is purely about personality, claiming that if the love is real, then external factors like wealth, appearance, and status don't matter. That's the type of thinking that comes from movies and fairy tales, not real life. The truth is much more grounded and practical. There's another extreme, however, where people believe that looks, money, and status are the only things that count. I disagree with that too. While there are certainly women who are highly influenced by those things, not every woman operates that way. Here's where it gets interesting. Looks, money, and status do matter, but not in the way most people think. They matter because they send signals to the world about who you are, what you've achieved, and the effort you've put into yourself. Let's take looks, for example. Good looks might suggest that you're healthy, that you take care of your body, and that you prioritize your well-being. And let me tell you, looking like you care about yourself can get you a long way. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you need to look like a Hollywood star or a fitness model, but the effort you put into your appearance is a reflection of how much you respect yourself. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to show that you care. It's all about the effort you put in. At the very least, put in the time to maintain a healthy lifestyle, take care of your skin, dress appropriately, and exercise. When you take care of your health and appearance, it tells others that you value yourself, and women can definitely sense that. Now, money and status. Those things are usually attractive to women because they signal ambition, stability, and the ability to provide. They're evolutionary cues embedded in human psychology. It's instinctual. But here's the kicker. They only matter if they're backed by substance. Money alone doesn't make you a desirable man. If you're wealthy but lack confidence, if you're rich but lack integrity, then all the money and status in the world won't matter. A man who inspires trust, shows leadership, and has emotional depth will always outweigh someone who simply has wealth. A man with substance, who is calm under pressure, who has self-respect and respect for others, is infinitely more valuable than someone who is just rich, but lacks the core qualities that women truly desire. Take my fiancé, for example. He's not the best-looking guy by conventional standards, and he's faced financial struggles more times than I can count because he's an entrepreneur. But you know what? He is the most competent, steady, and confident man I've ever met. He came from absolutely nothing, less than nothing, and built himself up through sheer willpower, dedication, and an unwavering belief in himself. That's what truly matters. His character, his resilience, and his drive have proven to me that looks, money, and status are not the be-all and end-all. It's his consistency, his self-confidence, and his ability to stay true to his principles that makes him irreplaceable. That's what draws me to him. The truth is, high-quality people are hard to find these days. But here's the thing. The only way to attract a high-quality person is by becoming a high-quality person yourself. It's that simple. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. If you want to be surrounded by ambitious, confident, and strong people, you need to be those things yourself. You need to start living by the qualities you want to attract in others. Don't sit back and wait for the perfect person to come into your life. Become the kind of person that will naturally draw those high-caliber individuals to you. It's not about waiting for someone to change your life. You have to take responsibility for your own growth. Become the best version of yourself, and you will notice that the people you attract will match that. But it starts with you. If you're not living the life you want, it's time to make changes. Start by looking at the areas of your life that need improvement, whether it's your health, your financial situation, or your emotional strength, and take decisive action. Don't make excuses. Work hard. Cultivate your mind, body, and spirit so that you are the best version of yourself. It's the only way to build something real, something lasting. Ultimately, the message here is clear. Don't focus solely on the external. Looks, money, and status are important, yes, but they are not the foundation of true connection. What really matters is the depth you bring to the table, the inner strength you possess, and the respect you show to both yourself and others. If you want to attract a woman of substance, you need to embody the qualities that matter most: confidence, integrity, ambition, and self-respect. So, let me ask you, are you living the life you truly want? Are you being the person you wish to attract? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss. What do you believe truly matters in a relationship? All right, folks, we've come to the end of today's deep dive into the brutal truth women will never admit about men. I hope you found the insights powerful and eye-opening. Remember, it's not just about love, it's about security. Women are looking for a man who can provide stability, someone who is emotionally, mentally, and even financially solid. To truly win her respect and trust, you've got to show up every single day with purpose, resilience, and the drive to succeed. You need to build a life that demonstrates your value, not just talk about it. So, here's the honest advice. Stop focusing solely on love and start focusing on your own growth. Work on yourself, create your own path, and let that confidence and stability radiate in everything you do. Only then will you be the kind of man who attracts and keeps the woman you deserve. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on living a life of power and purpose. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay focused, and take control of your future.